A certain song hits a certain note, and your body reacts like it's in danger. Chills flood down your spine. The hair on your arms stands up. Your nervous system fires off the exact same alarm it uses for a predator or a plunge into cold water, except nothing is threatening you. Nothing has even touched you. It's just organized sound vibrating the air. Scientists call it Frisson, and once you understand why a beautiful chord can trigger a survival response, you learn something strange about what music actually is and why our species ever needed it at all. Let's start with what's physically happening to you in that moment. That shiver, those goosebumps rising on your arms, that's a real, measurable bodily event called frisson. Not everyone experiences it. Studies suggest somewhere between half and two-thirds of people get chills from music, while others feel almost nothing. But for those who do, it isn't just a feeling. It's your autonomic nervous system, the same system that handles your fight or flight response, firing off, triggered by nothing more dangerous than a beautiful sound. So the real question is why? Why would your body treat a swelling chord like a genuine event worth reacting to? The first big clue came from a landmark study at McGill University, led by researchers Valorie Salimpoor and Robert Zatorre. They put people into brain scanners and played the music that gave them chills, and they watched what lit up. What they found was striking. At the peak emotional moments, the exact instance the chills hit, the brain released dopamine. This is the same reward chemical, flooding the same circuitry, that's involved in eating delicious food, in sex, in addictive drugs. Your brain was treating a piece of music as a genuine, primal reward. But here's the part that's truly fascinating. The dopamine didn't just spike at the peak. It surged in the seconds before it too, during the anticipation, while you were waiting for the moment you knew was coming. And that reveals the secret engine underneath all of this. Music is a game of prediction. From the moment a song begins, your brain is quietly guessing what comes next, the next note, the next beat, where the melody is heading. You don't do this consciously, but your brain is a relentless prediction machine, and music is built to play with those predictions. And frisson, that wave of chills, tends to strike at very specific moments, when the music sets up an expectation, delays it, and then resolves it in a way that's both surprising and deeply satisfying. A held note that finally breaks. A key change you didn't see coming. The moment a voice soars, or everything drops out and then comes rushing back. It's the tension and the release. Your brain loves being surprised, but only when the surprise makes sense. But this raises a genuinely strange puzzle. Why goosebumps? Those tiny bumps are caused by an ancient reflex called piloerection, your body tensing the muscles at the base of each hair to make it stand up. In furry animals, this serves a clear purpose. It puffs them up to look bigger when threatened, or fluffs their coat to trap heat when cold. But we lost most of our fur long ago. For us, goosebumps are essentially a leftover, a vestigial echo of our animal past. So why on earth would a soaring piece of music trigger the same primitive response as facing a predator or standing out in the freezing cold? The leading idea is that music hijacks emotional machinery that evolved for something else entirely. A sudden swell of sound, a powerful human voice, an unexpected shift. These share acoustic features with the emotionally urgent sounds our ancestors evolved to notice. A scream, a cry, the call of another human across a distance. Your brain reacts to the raw shape of the sound before it ever decides whether there's real danger. The chill is your nervous system flagging something as emotionally significant, throwing up a full-body response just in case it matters. Music, in other words, is sneaking in through a door that was built for survival. Not everyone's door is open the same amount. A researcher named Matthew Sachs found that people who regularly get chills from music actually have measurable differences in their brains, more dense neural connections between the region that processes sound and the regions that handle emotion. If music moves you to the point of shivering, it may be because your auditory world and your emotional world are simply wired more tightly together. It's not that you're being dramatic, your brain is quite literally built to feel sound more deeply. People who get Frisson also tend to score higher on a trait psychologists call openness to experience, the same quality that makes someone more readily moved by art, ideas, and beauty in general. Which brings us to the biggest question of all, the one almost nobody stops to ask. Why do humans have music at all? It has no obvious survival value. You can't eat it. It won't shelter you. One famous scientist dismissed it as auditory cheesecake, a pleasurable accident, a byproduct of brains that evolved for other things. But many researchers think that's deeply wrong because music is everywhere. Every human culture that has ever existed has made it. We found flutes carved from bone that are over 40,000 years old. And music does something no other art form does quite as powerfully. It synchronizes us. When people sing together, drum together, move together to a rhythm, their emotions align, their bodies release bonding hormones, and a crowd of separate individuals briefly becomes one. Music may have been one of humanity's first technologies for connection, a way to feel the same thing at the same time, together. And that is what the chills are really telling you. Music isn't decoration. It's a direct line into the oldest emotional machinery you have, one that bypasses logic entirely. A pattern of sound with no words and no threat can bring you to tears because music speaks the language that came before language, the pre-verbal channel of the lullaby, the chant, the cry of grief, the shout of joy. When you feel that shiver, your body is recognizing something meaningful, a beauty, connection, the sublime, even when your mind can't put it into words. So the next time a song gives you chills, understand what that shiver actually is. It's ancient. It's your nervous system responding to beauty as though it were a matter of survival. Because for a deeply social species like ours, being moved together in the same moment may have been exactly that. Music is how human beings have always reached each other in the place words can't go. And those chills running down your spine are proof that after all this time, you are still wired for wonder. Thanks for watching the Unspoken channel. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Until next time.